Hello, hello. It has been some time. Can you hear me better now? I'm not turning it off because it's a good song. So this is the first part of kind of review. I've been asked by a few people to go over the printing equipment that I got last year. I think it was last year. So anyway, I got previously, and so here it is. This first look will be with, just to refresh all memories. There it is. This is the Canon Pro 9000 Mark II, the Pixma series, Pixma. Got a great deal on this on Amazon, I think. If you want to see us set it up and everything and unbox it, I'll put the link around there somewhere in that region. But this is it, set up with some 11x17 dark shirt heat transfer paper for heat press, and that is connected to the laptop. This printer isn't the fastest printer in the world, if that's what you're buying it for, but that aside, it's insanely amazing. I love this printer. As far as printing any type of graphics, not just heat transfer, we've printed posters, flyers, handouts, for sale, not just for display, and it comes out beautifully. I highly recommend this printer. This is actually kind of fortunate, so now you can see what it's like to change the ink. This is what it looks like, the little ink cartridge. Photo magenta, as it's required. See if I can do this with one hand. Okay. Once you unwrap it, looks like this. Let's see if I can press this between my legs. What you want to do, take this nice little place for your thumb, just twist that off. That can be thrown away. One thing I personally like about this printer is that it doesn't do toner. Now, toner machines are wonderful and they end up saving you money in the long run. Two things about toner machines though, they're not great for printing on any kind of heat transfer paper, or they're not great on a lot of type of paper because they get so hot. A lot of your average paper just gets burnt. It melts in the machine, literally burns. So, the other thing I don't like about toner machines is that they make a huge mess when you switch out the toner, even when you don't. But they have their use and their legitimacy. Anyway, you see the one that is needing to be repaired is blinking. It's all pretty and flashing. Anyone who's into tech will appreciate the flashing lights and everything. You just put the other one in, snap it in. It does tell you what goes where right here, so there's no guesswork. And close that back up. This one gets thrown away. I'll do that later. And then the prompt goes away automatically. Hopefully it doesn't need yellow right now because I don't really feel like changing it out another one. Here it is printing. Beautifully, I might add. I wanted to make sure I print it now so that I got some sunlight for you guys to actually see this in direct sunlight and get the actual color. One thing about these, let me show you what kind of paper we're using. It is 3G jet opaque inkjet transfer paper for dark colors. It is very fragile. You don't want this kind of paper to just sit around because it will get scratched very easily. Like, it'll just scratch the the ink off, and then you gotta reprint it. So you gotta be very careful when you're cutting it out to print, and when you're just handling it before actually pressing it. This is what it looks like in direct sunlight, so you get the, you know, the absolute color of the image. Okay, so with a little bit of focus, you can see, you know, just little subtle scratches, and you know, that vintage battered look. You know, doesn't look real crisp or anything, and that's on purpose. I wanted to have the t-shirt to have a vintage look to it. But there you go, and just to show you the reproduction of colors, you know, this is the hat that I'm matching. So, put it on this side so it doesn't shade. You can see that it's pretty accurate. Let's get the yellows. The yellow's pretty accurate. The gray is a little bit lighter, but I kind of did that on purpose. I didn't want a dark shirt. And then the pink ranges from this light pink down here to the heavy magenta up top. Of course, all this was created in Photoshop and Illustrator. I drew the birds. I took a picture of some old headphones I had for the headphone, and then I photoshopped and manipulated the headphones turning into birds. And I did all this in a CMYK setting. That is key if you're going to be using a printer like this. Let me just point that out and make sure you guys understand that fully, because it is absolutely key. That you print and that you design in CMYK. If you design in RGB, when you print stuff out on this printer or any printer like this that uses a CMYK setting, you're not gonna get true colors when you print it. You know, your blues will look a little bit off, your reds will look a little bit off. You're not gonna have the same depth in pictures and things that you create. You know, darks won't get as dark. Just don't do it. Just take some time, go online, read some tutorials about CMYK versus RGB, learn the difference. I promise you it's not going to take more than 30 minutes for you to get it down pat, and once you do, you'll be good to go. Good to go. Also, for anyone investing in this printer for printing purposes, because the paper is so fragile, I do suggest buying an 11 by 17, or if you're not going to use anything this big, 8.5 by 11 portfolio to keep prints in, even after you cut them, before you heat press them, so that you don't get cut. For cutting purposes, I do use just a wooden board, the cutting mat, just a regular box cutter, and a cork-backed steel ruler to, you know, get the straight edge. All very simple. So we're at my parents' house because the circuits in our apartment can't handle the heat press. So we are printing shirts here, and then we are off to the photo shoot. And yeah, I'm gonna show you, not this shirt because this specific design isn't released yet. Okay, so the heat press is set up. Doesn't have to be outside. We just didn't feel like carrying it in. I always keep the temperature at 350. It hovers around there. Over here you have the timer. I have it set to 85 seconds right now. The tutorial I read set like 60 to 75, but I like 85. You know, it just makes sure it's all done. Okay. So once it's printed, before you heat press it, you want to peel it. Yeah, so you cut it out.
And we recommend using a ruler and a straight edge, and be very careful because the ink will come off very easily. Let's see if I can do it with this corner. Keith relies on me to peel it off because I have nails and he does not. Just very gently pull it apart.
As you can see, it's like tape. It's very delicate.
It is very delicate.
Very malleable. Lay it over Make sure it's nice and flat. And take the design. I'll show you how to peel the design in just a second. This is the design I printed. Just lay it where you want it. Which just kind of takes practice, really. Learning placement. And that look good to you, Bailey? That look good to you?
Kind of have to go quick, otherwise it curls.
Yeah. And then you put this kind of like tracing paper over it. And the wind will stop. And press, as the name suggests. And then the timer will start, and I'll show you what it's like once it's done. So, almost there. Once it's done, beeps like a microwave. Pull up. I'm gonna peel this off very carefully. Take the shirt off. Make sure you stretch it, just to make sure that the so that the design will stretch a little bit once worn. And there you have it. Heat press. The design, it's not as soft as heat pressing. Yeah, it does get a little bit harder, but it's not. It doesn't crack, doesn't peel. I've washed shirts dozens of times, and you know, comes out good. Okay.
Yay!
Yay!
You've wanted that shirt for so long.
I have. So that to match my hat.
I can't see your hat because it's dark. Hat. And shirt. They match.
I'm so excited.
One stop till a level I gain. Then it's back to the hustle again. Level grinding 99 and hidden secret level finding.